Hello, my name is Bella Luna, spiritual life coach, healer, mystic, transformational facilitator, and radical self-love advocate. So because at the moment in the Northern Hemisphere, we're celebrating Ostara, also known as spring equinox, I thought I would talk about balance because the days and the nights are now a balance. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how to balance your needs with the needs of others. So I see so many people in my personal and professional life struggling with this topic. So I want to share with you something that made this balance a lot easier for me to navigate. So we often see our needs and the needs of others as two kind of separate things, often believing that by catering to our own needs, we are in fact dismissing or going against the needs of someone around us. Now, this belief comes from the assumption that we all have the power to help, support, fix, rescue another person from a particular thing or situation. Now, as compassionate and valuable as that trait is, it's actually also kind of an ego-based belief and puts a hell of a lot of pressure on ourselves for thinking that we are someone's salvation and that we are the only thing that can help them in that situation. Thinking that we know what's best for them and that we are the only one that can provide this solution or support. But in reality, we don't always know what's best for someone, no matter how well we know them, nor do we know how certain courses will actually pan out and unfold. But one thing that I do know is that there is often a highest path for all. It's not always clear to us humans down here on the earthly plane, but when you zoom out and get that perspective from a more divine, cosmic, spiritual plane, it can often be a lot clearer. So in fact, more often than not, by doing what's best for ourselves, we actually inadvertently do what's best for those around us, even when it's not immediately obvious to us or them. Sometimes when we people please, when we do things that we think we should do because we believe someone needs it, or because we believe we're the only person that can help in that moment, we prevent that other person from actually getting what might have been something better for them. And that's not always obvious what's better, because sometimes it looks worse, but it's actually better overall. So by stepping out of integrity with ourselves, we're blocking the course for them to get what is actually best for them. Sometimes that's the support of someone or something else. Sometimes that is to give themselves space to help themselves. And sometimes it's maybe just to leave time and space for the situation to actually unfold further. So at this point, you might be getting a bit confused, but don't worry, I've got an example. So as so many of my clients, and therefore you viewing this, I pride myself on trying to always be there for my close friends and family. I love to support people. It gives me a sense of purpose, and you know, that's just something I value. And often it's to my own detriment. So there was this one time I'd had a really busy day working. I had some major personal stuff going on, and I was just completely exhausted. I told myself that I was just going to switch off for the day, unplug, pull a few cards, meditate, watch some TV, whatever, just generally relax. So after setting this unofficial intention to myself, I got a message from my best friend asking if I was free because she was struggling and really needed someone to talk to. My immediate reaction was to jump to the rescue and be there for her. But as soon as I had that thought, I realized just how drained I was and remembered the intention I'd just set for myself to unplug for the day. This is a really hard dilemma for me, and in situations like this, I like to consider how to respond from a place of integrity. However, there was a contradiction in my integrity in this moment, so it took a minute for me to actually work through that. On one hand, it would be integrous for me to gently tell her I wasn't available, to stick to the intention I set for myself, and to unplug and not be there for anyone else. But on the other hand, abandoning a friend when they're in need also felt out of alignment with my values. So what do you do in a situation like this when you have two sides that are both actually integrity, but they clash and contradict each other? Luckily, in this particular situation, I managed to quite swiftly find a middle ground that felt really good. So I messaged her explaining that I'd had a really challenging day and I didn't have much energy to give, but that I would keep my phone on loud for the next 2 hours before I went to sleep, and that if she really needed me, I would answer and give her whatever support I could in that moment. So this gave her the full picture of my state, of my energy levels, but also along with a lifeline if she needed it. Because if I'd cut her off completely and said, no, I don't have any time for you, that would have been out of integrity with my values. But equally, if I'd have said, yes, of course, I'll be here for you, what do you need? That would have been out of integrity with the intention I'd just given myself. So I gave her this lifeline, but of course she didn't need it. She found some strength inside her that she'd forgotten about. She supported herself, and then later on another friend got in touch with her and gave her the most supportive advice she needed for that given situation. If I had jumped in to rescue her, I would have done so from a place of ego and people pleasing, and the advice and support that I would have likely given her would have probably not been what she needed. The universe guided us all into a place where we all stepped onto that highest path, and the perfect outcome was allowed to unfold. I got my rest, she got her support, she found some inner strength. It was a win-win-win-win-win situation. So essentially, when you make the right decision for you from a place of integrity, you step onto the highest path for all. This then creates space for those around you to make the most integrous choice and step onto the highest path also. At times, though, this will be difficult to trust and will sometimes feel counterintuitive because it might feel like you're being mean or rude or horrible or abandoning someone or letting someone down. It can take some time, it can take trial and error to listen to your intuition, to stay in integrity, to figure out what your values and morals are, and to choose that highest path. The next time that your needs don't match up with those around you, try to make a mental note to think about this insight that I've just shared with you and experiment with it. See what unfolds when you listen and follow your own needs. How does it impact those around you in the short, medium, and long term? Because sometimes in the short term, they might not like it. It might lead to a seemingly worse outcome, but then maybe in the medium or the long term, it might actually lead to a better outcome. So I hope this makes sense. That's all for this video. If you have any questions or you're confused or you have any insights or aha moments or stories to share, please write them in the comments below. I would always love to hear from you. So much love and infinite blessings from me for now, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.